All right, let's talk about something that trips up almost everyone studying for an exam. Remembering long lists of historical rulers. It's a real pain, right? Especially with the Mughal emperors. Those first six, the great Mughals, are super important. But what if I told you that you could lock in their chronological order, like forever, in just the next few minutes? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. Let's dive in.
So, throw out those flashcards. Seriously, we're not going to just memorize a list today. Instead, we are going to create a movie right inside your head. It's going to be a little weird, a little absurd, and totally unforgettable. See, our brains are just wired to remember crazy stories and vivid images way better than boring old text. So, get comfortable because the show's about to start.
Okay, so here's where the fun starts. Lights, camera, and action. I really wanted to picture this as I describe it. Don't just listen, see it. The crazier you make it in your mind, the more it's going to stick. Ready? Let's roll scene one.
Get this, you are standing on a massive battlefield, and right there in the middle is a giant barber with a huge razor. And what's he doing? He's trying to shave a tiny, frantic hummingbird that's just buzzing all around his head. It's ridiculous, right? A barber for Babur, the founder, and a hummingbird for his son, Humayun. That weird image? It's now locked in your brain.
Okay, so our poor hummingbird is totally freaking out, right? It needs to get away from that razor. So it zips off and dives straight into a rolled-up newspaper lying on the ground. And if you could see the masthead, it would read the Daily Akbar. Akbar for the great emperor Akbar. But wait, there's more. As the bird flies right through the paper, it snags on something and yanks out this huge, heavy, golden chain. That chain? That stands for Jahangir and his legendary chain of justice.
And this is where it gets really crazy. You follow that chain up, and what's it attached to? The Taj Mahal itself, which is falling out of the sky. But just before it hits the ground, this guy runs in and somehow catches the entire thing in his giant pocket. Now, the word for pocket in some dialects is zeeb. So, the Taj Mahal, that's for its builder, Shah Jahan, and the man with the pocket, or zeeb, that's for Aurangzeb. And that, my friends, is a wrap.
So there you have it. Let's just run through that cast list one more time to make sure we've got it. The barber is Babur. The hummingbird is Humayun. The Akbar newspaper is Akbar. The chain is Jahangir. The Taj Mahal is Shah Jahan. And the pocket, or Zeb, is Aurangzeb. We just turned a wild story into a perfectly ordered historical list. Pretty cool, huh?
Now, every great movie needs a script, right? A simple outline that holds the whole story together. What happens if your mind goes blank during an exam and you can't quite picture the hummingbird? You need a backup plan. And for that, we have the script.
And here it is. Your backup, your safety net is this super simple acronym, BHAJSA. That's BHAJSA. Each letter is just the first letter of each emperor's name, in order. Think of it like this. The movie is what makes it unforgettable, but BHAJSA is your quick and dirty cheat code for rapid recall.
Let's really burn this into our memory. Seriously, say it out loud with me wherever you are. BHJSA. Again, BHAJSA. Babur, Humayun, Akbar, Jahangir, Shah Jahan, Aurangzeb. It's so simple but so powerful. This is the skeleton that our whole mental movie hangs on.
Okay, you've watched the movie, you've learned the script. Now it's time to see if it actually works. Let's do a little test screening with some real questions from past exams to see how our new technique holds up under pressure. You ready for this?
All right, first up, a question straight from the SSC CGL exam. Take a look at those options. Which one is the right chronological order? Before you even read them, just replay that movie in your head. Barber, hummingbird, newspaper, chain. Or just use BHJSA.
And the answer is B! Of course it is. It follows our story perfectly. Humayun, the hummingbird, then Akbar, the Akbar newspaper, then Jahangir, the chain, and finally Shah Jahan, the Taj Mahal. It fits the movie and it fits the BHAJS sequence. The other options, they're just jumbled up scenes. Easy.
Ready for another one? This comes from a UPSC paper, so you know it's the real deal. This one's a specific fact. Who was called Zinda Pir, which means living saint? Think back to the very end of our movie. Who is that last character we met?
The answer here is B, Aurangzeb, and our weird little movie actually helps us with this. Remember the guy who caught the Taj Mahal? Just a simple man with a big pocket. Well, historically, Aurangzeb was known for living a very simple, pious life, especially compared to the luxury of his predecessors. So that image of this simple man helps lock in that fact.
Okay, one last question. This is from an RRB NTPC exam.
The chain of justice. This should be a total gimme if you remember our story. What was that big object the hummingbird pulled out of the newspaper?
And yep, you nailed it. The answer is C, Jahangir. The connection here is just so direct. In our movie, there's a giant chain. In history, Jahangir is famous for his chain of justice. The mnemonic just hands you the answer. It's almost too easy.
You absolutely crushed that test screening. So to make sure all of this sticks with you for the long haul, let's pull it all together into one final super useful summary slide. This is your personal director's cheat sheet for revision time.
And here you go. Everything you need all in one place. You've got the master code BHAJSA. You've got the visual icons from our movie, the barber's scissors, the hummingbird, the newspaper, the chain, the Taj, and the pocket. And you've got those key facts we just aced in the quiz. This is your ultimate one-glance revision tool.
So let's step back for a second. We just covered the core timeline of one of the world's most powerful dynasties, and we did it with a silly little mental movie. It just goes to show you, it's not always about studying harder, it's about studying smarter. So here's a final thought. If a 5-minute movie can teach you 500 years of history, what other tough subjects could you absolutely conquer just by changing your approach and getting a little creative?